Welcome to another day of Ether Rays, the final day for Chaos Season of this week. We got you here as our final match, hopefully. Let's get in here. We're going to go with the Tana team here. Now, initially, I had planned to warp up here and bop Lin with Tana, but I forgot about the whole barricade thing and the warp bubble, essentially. So that plan has kind of taken a little bit of a left turn, but it should still work out. Once we get rid of Tree Man, it should be fine. And then we just go in and take out everyone else. A lot of good plus 10. Bernadetta has very, very nice arts. They really did her justice with the art style. The armor looks really good in the purple. It's fantastic. Her bow looks really good. The bow strings and everything, it's really well designed. Small art tangents, but yeah, I think we're gonna try to bop Lin. I'm concerned that it might be a one-shot, which means that I might not get the Gale Force off, which is not great. But I don't know, maybe we'll have enough actions to try to figure out a way to get through Tree Man and then Hector, and I think we can one turn get everyone here. I think what I'll also need to do, since I can't warp, I think we're gonna have to go in with we're gonna waste the reposition with
bring forth my greetings. Don't be seen.
Baby Golvig here. Yeah. And then I might cancel into a spot that will have her potentially try to lock Sigurd. Worst case scenario, I think that's probably the best option, because we can't lock Bernadetta because she will reflect that status effects, which would not be great. I think she's the only one that does that. The reflect negative status effects or debuffs. Well, does she do the debuffs, or is it just the status effects? Yeah, onto the nearest ally. I think she's the only one that does that, which is very interesting. I don't know how long that will be a Bernadetta exclusive thing. They've already started to give out her chip damage. Maybe they'll keep that. Typically, whenever the Brave units come out, they always have some type of exclusive thing. With Brave Byleth, it was her Divine Pulse. Which is, as you've seen, passed off to her Fallen version, Fallen Byleth. So yeah, the Byleths, or at least female Byleth, has that Divine Pulse effect, and Bernadetta has the Vantage and the Paranoia and just a bunch of stuff. So I don't know what they'll keep from her for her as something that is uniquely for Bernadetta. I think the Paranoia status effects kind of has a Bernadetta type theme to it. So she might keep that, but then it's very rare that they keep two things. And the other thing would have been the negative status reflect. So I don't know if she's going to be able to keep that, but let's see if we get the Gale Force off here. Okay, wonderful. Okay, that was my main concern, not being able to get the Gale Force off. But I think we could have been able to play around it, but it would have been a lot more difficult. I think we take this Hector, actually. I was going to use Tana to take out Hector. That was my initial plan, but since we can get Hector now that the terrain has been removed and replaced with the haze, we have a couple of options here to take out Hector. I'm not gonna lie, like this week using male Shez has been actually, I don't know if it's the bonus stats or what it is, but I've actually low-key enjoyed using male Shez, which, even though I hate his face, I gotta say, man, it's been fun. I did upgrade his kit. I gave him lethality and active lookout, the one that gives desperation, so that makes him play a lot better. Those are the things that were missing from his kit. I gotta say, man, I kind of like the unit. Even though I still think he's the inferior Shez. Female Shez is the real one, and I will stand by that. But yeah, we're pretty much done here. Just gotta figure out who to take out to wrap this up. We're gonna get Edelgard in there, so we gotta take out Tree Man. I think we can just take this. It's the last match, so I don't need the pods really. So let's take out Tree Man and then get Edelgard in there to wrap everything up. But yeah, I don't know what they'll keep for Bernadetta is what I was saying. Don't know if she's gonna keep that because for the Brave units, they've always passed off some of their new skills at some point, typically within a year. So I don't know if she's going to keep the Paranoia or the Reflect. I feel like the Reflect is something that they might pass off to another unit and let her keep the Paranoia. The Paranoia is more stuff. I don't see them introducing that on another unit that isn't Bernadetta. I don't know. That feels more like something that Bernadetta would have for herself as a preferential passive, I guess. Kind of like what they've done with Great Talent on Alphonse, how they've kind of passed it off, not really. But yeah, I don't know, just some thoughts about Bernadetta. I do think I would like to plus 10 her at some point because I think she's a very good bow archer, and I think she'll age really well because of the Brave. I don't see her damage output falling off too much to the point where she's just no longer able to kill completely, but I don't know. Let's see what happens. GG's. Okay. Alright, so... Oh, the music has changed, so there's that. Hello! Alright, so... What am I doing today? Alright, so I am going to just go over just like stuff that's been going on with my barracks and like banners and stuff, and then one final thing at the end that I'll go over, and that's going to be like the majority of the video. But real quick, this banner was real nice to me. The top 8 banner, that banner was really nice to me. I think I got Hector up to like +9. Although I haven't merged the copies yet, but got a bunch of Hectors, got pretty much everyone on the banner at least one copy, which is fantastic. As I said, I went full Sparks on this. Also got Ira to +9 as well. Even though I could have +10'd her, I just really wanted that Brutal Tempest fodder to pass around to a couple of units, so that has been done. Holoforms, ooh, I'll show the, what the outcome of that was. Didn't really pull on this banner aside from the free pull because I already have at least one copy of every unit here, except maybe Felicia and Na, who I think I foddered. So not a lot of value for me. Although I do have my eyes on potentially building up a Petra, just because of how prominent beast units are in the meta currently. But I don't know how I feel about that just yet. She's really good in terms of damage output. Specifically with Speed Taker. But yeah, you'd really need to invest into her to get her to be at peak performance. The orbs that I currently have is to summon on this attuned Erica banner. That's really what the orbs I have are for. But apparently I'm dragging my feet for some reason, but that's what my orbs are going to go towards whenever I get around to it. There's 2 days at this point left. Didn't realize this was out. Let's try to get another Harden. I have a bunch of Hardens. I think he's at like +5. Bunch of armored skills at this point. I initially started to invest into him because he has a distant counter weapon with an okay refine I get. We go for Edelgard here. But yeah, Harden has not aged very well, unfortunately. Yeah, he definitely needs a new weapon at this point. No idea what I'll give to him, but definitely needs a new weapon, which means I'll have to outsource the distant counter or give him distant counter echo, which feels like a waste. I don't actually need any of the units here because I already have Celica at +10, and then Ymir, you really don't need more than a one-off. And then Est is kind of like, I don't know what to do with her, but I guess for fodder, Est would probably be the best. Est is the best for me personally. Potentially, probably banking on a good refine at least for Est. 10 years from... Ooh. I really like this character. I like her aura, Selena. She has some really nice aura, but I don't have her invested enough to actually want to go out and use her. I would definitely have to put some dragon flowers on that. Legendary emblem banner, whatever. One okay, I guess. Got more Guinevere's. I think I spoke about that before. And then this banner, this is the most recent one. That's where I got, well, of course, where else can you get it? But, you know, the new menace in the game, Camilla, and the babies, the Corins. I got the Leo, not quite sure what to do with him. Oh, I also need to level up Xander today. Still got at least an hour left to do that. So that I can get his dragon flowers and then bench him. It's crazy. Xander was one of the first... Grail Xander was one of the first units that I actually built. But I don't even use him anymore because what do you do with him at this point? Holoforms. Definitely going to pick up this Robin because why not? Frost Moon I think is probably the best thing here. And I want to see how the Lagoo's loyalty will age. It's not like the worst thing right now. Probably would be better off to give him Lagoo's Friend because he can stack his defense pretty high. But I do want to see how the Lagoo's loyalty ages. When he gets his eventual refine and remix, I think this might be really good for him. But yeah, this is the build that I'm going to take. I'm going to be using his A skill, so I didn't even bother to swap it out. And this is the prom. I already have Excel, so Swift Sparrow is the next best thing. This is pretty much just... The only thing I would change here is the special, but I think I already have no quarter. I definitely already have no quarter. So the only upgrade would be to get K-Slice, which isn't available, so no point in going any further and not picking up Tiki because she was just treated bad. I think if this Holoforms wins a revival, I think there'll be like better skills, and maybe at that point I might consider picking up a Tiki. But for now, she's just not worth it, in my opinion. Definitely have to change her weapon at least. But yeah, let's look at the barracks real quick. No, this isn't the best time to look at the barracks. Let's go do the thing that I wanted to do, which is work on my defense for light season. Yoon is bonus. Yoon and Ash are the bonus units for the upcoming light season. They have not been in rotation for the longest time now, which is good because they suck. Well, more Yoon than anything else. Yoon is not the greatest right now, unless you were to give her like Frost Moon, which has only been on one unit thus far. So, not quite sure what you would do with her to get her to be good. Her debuffs, everything that she does has been passed off to skills that you can get on other units at this point. So, not really getting a lot out of her in terms of mileage. I guess Light Blessing, the Speed Blessing is what you'd be getting from defense for her. I guess you can even scrap, well, definitely you can scrap her C skill at this point for something else better. I don't know. She's a flyer, so there's options. But without Frost Moon, I don't really think you're going to be getting much done with that Yoon. Not that she can't kill things, she can definitely kill things. But, you know, why? So I gotta make sure that my defense is solid for this light dark season, because I'll lose 60 if we gotta get at least 3 kills to ensure that we don't take a score loss if we do end up losing. So this is the layout that I got currently. Don't know if I should change it, although I have looked at some of the other maps. Alright, so the reason that I chose this one in particular was, first off, I haven't used it in a while. Well, I have been using it for a while, but before that, I hadn't used it for like at least 2 years. Is 2 years accurate? At least a year. Yeah, I haven't used it for at least a year. prior to that. But since I started using it around Halloween, Nagi, I think around there, since I've been using it around there, I haven't like swapped it out, at least in Dark Season, for anything else. Reason being, since Sigurd was around that time, it's open, so you get a ton of coverage in terms of being able to potentially hit something, get a KO. There's not a lot of space for the opponent to hide, especially with this current setup. Sigurd is gone, which means that Erica is taking his spot. I really want to use Erica for the upcoming Light Dark defense season, just because she's the hot chick on the block currently. So I want to get some usage out of her, as I've done with all the other emblem units when they first debuted, before she completely falls off. Kind of like an Emblem Lyn situation. Although I don't think she'll age as badly as those two, because she's melee, so she'll probably age in a similar vein to Sigurd, and how he stuck around and is still good to this day. Just not as dominant as he was a few months ago. I think right now is probably, since she has the bonus stats and everything, I definitely want to include her on defense. Also because range, definitely going to give her the Sigurd ring to cover the range. Now, it's kind of hard to build around her because she's a melee cav that only covers 4. No, that's not the reason. Why is it hard to build around her? Okay, the reason that it's hard to build around her is unlike Sigurd, she only KOs 1 unit. So I think I mentioned this before, where I want the defense to take out multiple units on the turn that it initiates to basically force the opponent to surrender. And again, since I'm not going to be using Yoon, I don't want any sack plays. I can't really afford any sack plays, so gotta make sure that my defense is doing its best to really just beat down the opponent. So that's why it's currently set up like this with Erica, to at least get a kill. The problem is, once she does that, she kind of cantos back to below Loki, and then the defense shuffles down, and the fire saves and everything, they shuffle around. And that's pretty much it. Nothing else happens, because there's no action economy on this defense. No one does anything else. Initially, I had Hathorn here where Camilla is, but the problem is that the two armored units ended up charging all the way down the map, which is not ideal, and they essentially would leave themselves exposed or not do their job, which is to cover everyone else. So not quite sure what to do about that. I guess that in essence leads me to my particular conundrum right now, which is I don't know whether or not I should actually include this Camilla with Gale Force on the defense. Yes, she covers a ton of space, but she hits so hard that it's going to be difficult for her to trigger the Gale Force. She typically one-shots, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just that she needs at least 2 hits, 3 hits more than likely to get the Gale Force off, unless I'm gonna put like Heavy Blade or something in here. I don't remember if she has special acceleration in this. Okay, she does. So she probably needs like 2 hits to get the Gale Force off, and she typically one-shots most things, so don't know what direction to go in with that. So we have 2 threats here. Gold Mary has to be here because of what she's providing. She's essentially debuffer. This is a massive reign in terms of like how powerful it is. It only probably doesn't work against, I want to say, Valentine's Edelgard, because I don't think she meets the res check. Let's see. Real quick. I don't think she meets the res check against Valentine's Edelgard, but everyone else she should be able to out-res. Or most other initiators. What am I saying res? I mean defense. The defense check. 49. Okay, that's real high. So she probably doesn't meet that. To get the stat drops there. But for the Chroms and Everything else, she will be a big help. I just don't know what other pairing I should include. Camilla here could be a dancer, but then at the same time, like, if she's a dancer, then she has to have some type of way to dance Erica, which if the dancer is here, there isn't going to be a way for her to dance Erica because she won't be able to reach unless I have +1 movement, but then the +1 movement has to be on Erica so that she covers more of the map. And then also it messes up the threat range because Erica would be the only one to cover all of this space. And you just bait Erica and, you know, as long as you have someone who can survive her, you definitely would win. But granted, you know, not a lot of units can do that. So, I don't know. I'm kind of stuck in between, like, my thought processes. If I want to have, like, a dancer or, like, a secondary initiator that I can actually get Gale Force on. I'm thinking of, like, if I were to drop Camilla and run Edelgard as a partner, how would that work? How would that look? You know, those are the thoughts that I'm currently having. But then also it means that I'd have to put Loki here, and Loki being here is not as effective because these lanes. How can I give a visual of this? I think this is probably the best way to do that. Yeah. So these lanes here aren't primarily combat lanes for my team. My team doesn't necessarily have threat range all the way down there. As you can see, it doesn't reach. Although Camilla would be able to, you know, just because she can warp mad far. But because this range isn't typically combat space, the debuffs or the effect that Loki inflicts, the status cleansing, the bonus cleansing that she inflicts, wouldn't really matter in these spaces. Because I guess, let's say Edelgard is the one there, you wouldn't be able to bait from there. Let me show you. Well, actually, let's move her over. Let me show you. So you wouldn't be able to bait from there because all of your debuffs would be cleansed. Well, it depends on what your team composition is, but everyone's giving out status effects these days, so it's not like the hardest thing in the world to, you know,
where shall I go? What now?
Do that Loki thing. So these lanes, as you can see, these are the ones that are affected, but these 3 units, as you can see here, Erica only right there, and then Camilla right now is not. She's saying that she can't reach anyone, but she will be able to at least hit Goto here if I were to include Camilla on the defense. If I had Edelgard here, Edelgard with Celica Ring would reach Yoon, which is basically coverage in 2 spaces. So these two spots right here would be threatened. If I were to do that with Edelgard instead, but I don't know if I want to go that route. I'm feeling this is like one of the few first weeks or that I'm feeling like this indecisive. I really just don't know which of the options is better. So Edelgard definitely gets more KOs because she's gonna get her 3 actions. She definitely gets that. Erica would also be able to threaten Yoon because of, I think Erica +1 movement would at least be able to reach Gato because of her style effect. These 2 spots are not threatened over here. Plumeria and Saline, those are safe spots, which is how the map is designed. That's fine, I'm not worried about that being a problem. I just don't know like what 2 units I want to have. I think I definitely want to have Erica, but who's going to be her partner? Because you need at least 2 nukes, and also I'm looking at it right now, this is like primarily melee units. Well, I guess there's a mix because Celine is there, but she has more. She's not really a fighter. She has a specific job. And also, man, if I put a dancer there, then who do I... Well, Celine is locked, so the dancer won't be able to reach... Or that's what I'm intending to happen. I'm intending to lock Celine so that the dancer won't be able to reach. And then... But also it means that Celine can't do anything. I mean, I could give Ice Lock to Loki, but, you know, why? Someone wants the Lin Ring. I don't know. Maybe... Ooh, okay. Ideas forming. So I could give Lin Ring to Loki here. I think it would, no, she's in the back. If she was in the front, she'd be able to hit Gato, but the maximum range would be right here above Gato if she had the Ling Ring active. But that would also be in warp range with Celica Ring. I don't know. I also don't want to use Edelgard because I feel like she's been like the mainstay on this defense because I also use her on Anima Season as well, so... You know, just to save on blessings and how often you see her in the defense replays, I don't like showing the... I like to have some variety, so I don't really want to have Edelgard over and over again, you know. So I want to switch it up for Light Season, and I'm thinking, at least for now, I think Erika is a good pick. I think ultimately I might end up using her on offense though, Erika. I think I'll use Erika only for this season. I'm pretty sure we're going to get something else that can, you know, perform the role that Erika does in upcoming weeks, I think. Or at least by the next Light Season. But I think for this one, I definitely want to use her. Who will replace her? I don't know. But for now, I don't like this team comp. I don't like it. I don't know if I should put a dancer or not. Okay, so Loki's here. The problem with Loki being here, yes, the status is the buff, the bonuses are cleansed from here, here, and here. You still have 2 lanes, which is really all that you need to set up a unit that has the status effect. So you got your everything here on Erika, which makes it really easy to just set up to have her tank. For triangle attack also, all you need is 3 units. So let's say Catcher were here. Would you be able to get it? No. Catcher would need to be... No, you can't do it with Catcher. There's not enough space to do it, but you could do it with Cordelia, because then all you would need is 2 units. You would definitely be able to get it here. In these 2 spaces over here on the corner, and you would probably have 1 more right here. Depending on your setup, it's potentially possible. Actually, no, I don't think you could make it work. Oh, with Catcher, you could actually just have a unit here, and then you'd be able to get the triangle attack. But you'd have to have the fence to do that, because this defense moves on turn 1. So you'd have to have the fence to set someone here to get the triangle attack up. But that's if I put Loki there. But yeah, I don't like how many, how easy it is to stack status effects in this area here on the left. I don't like that. But it might be, like, if I'm going to put someone in the front, like Loki, if I'm going to put Camilla in the front right there, it would have to be set up like this.
I will try.
Upon your word.
Oh, he's stuck.
I go.
Let's pop the dance. No, stay here.
Understood.
1, 2, 3. Celine is dead, pretty much, I'm sure. I'm gonna just show you. Let's turn the animations off. Like, how it's gonna happen. So here you go. So that allows Camilla to reach. Ooh. That's not good. This that movement is terrible. I think currently with the setup, Tree Man is locked, which will be fixed. He's locked because I'm just trying to figure out like what units to pick. Whoa, no support. Okay.
We'll see it through. I'll pay them a
Where
visit.
could I? Here? Too far. Okay.
I will be cautious. Nerve-wracking.
I think this Plumeria is like... she's gonna age very well. The Frozen is a really strong effect in her dance. The special jump and the plus 10... not so much the plus 10 damage. The Frozen and the special jump, very, very strong. I think that's gonna allow her to age very, very well.
Where shall I go?
Whoa, not able to one-shot. That's insane.
I will be cautious.
Build issue. More than likely. Not dying. Man, yo, this Camilla is really strong. I did not expect her to be able to enemy phase like that.
Understood.
But, yeah. Don't like the layout. Not quite sure what to do about it. Let me show you what the other options are, just so that you can have an idea of what I will be requesting, which is help! Help! Don't know what to do. This is probably one of those rare instances where I'm actually asking for help with trying to figure out what to do here. Did I level? Okay, I did. I have zero interest in using this Leo. I'm going to use him for fodder for his detect, even though this is like not my favorite detect because it's not speed based. Speed is really... I don't know who I would give this to. Like, yeah, but he's definitely going to be fodder. So it would either be Camilla or Edelgard. Where? Okay, there you are. Celica ring. Did I lock it? I did not. Edit. Use. Oh, you can. Oh, I like this. I didn't know that you could do this. I just saw the button there. This is very good. I like that. Okay, that saves me the hassle of actually backing out, and yeah, that was a very good addition. Did not know that was there. Typically go with bold fighter because it's player phase, an extra layer of guaranteed follow-up. So yeah, let's see what that would look like. Now, this is like primarily just punishing for tanking strategies, but that's not necessarily the only way to play.
Understood. What now?
You can see the range there. Currently, Erica can reach there where Rune is with her style effect, but with the +1 movement, she would also be able to reach the toe.
I will try.
Okay, can you?
I go.
I really want to take out this Plumeria's C skill to give her guidance or something.
Upon your word.
Or maybe I should just give her ground orders because I keep getting stuck like this. It's really annoying.
What now? I will be cautious. Where shall I go?
Let us begin.
Okay, let's prevent that from happening.
Try.
Upon your word.
Nerve-wracking.
I think that's a little bit better. I don't know. Is it? I don't know. And the thing is, Edelgard inflicts the sabotage, but then also Camilla does debuffs and stuff as well, so... And also Camilla does... Oh! Camilla does that terrain effect, which has been a problem for me in the past couple defense plays that I've seen. People have been using like ice and stuff to block my units from approaching, so that Camilla effect might actually be really helpful, or more helpful than what Edelgard is offering. So that's something to consider. I don't know. Alright, so that's that option, and then the other option here is to have a dancer in there. And of course it would be Plumeria because she's really good. Alternatives would be Triandra, but Triandra is like really aggressive. Like, my Triandra is very, very aggressive. Well, I guess Triandra in general. As you can see, she's essentially a melee unit, like a melee nuke. You can, like, if I were to equip Potent here, not Potent, like Assassin Strike or Speed Taker, she does a ton of damage. So I typically don't like having her on defense because she's so aggressive. But her weapon is really good as well because of the 3x3, the speed swings. Yeah, all of this is really nice. Whereas, and also she's a tuned unit, so I have a bunch of stuff on her. Whereas Pulmeria, not so much. I'd have to give her Breath of Life, I think, at least for this defensive build. Where are you? Girly, where are you? Where are you? Oh, there you are. Okay, no, you don't go there. You go here. Go up. Man, I can't wait to get the extra slot for defense for Dark Season. It feels so unbalanced right now. And this is essentially how it would work. Let me show and tell. What did I do before? I feel like you were not over there in the corner. Okay, maybe it was this.
I go.
Pretty sure I moved you. Go here, dance. Okay, go here.
Understood. I will try.
Here, you go
Understood.
here. So in this version, I definitely get 2 kills because Erica is going to be the one that gets danced. I hope. I hope Erica gets danced here. Okay. Or maybe I don't get 2 kills. Why didn't you use your style effect? Is it only for the first combat? Oh. I also don't like that. She used her style effect on the first combat, and then she was unable to... Well, there was no follow-up because she couldn't reach anyone else. But with the Sigurd Ring, she would be able to snipe one of the units over here, because she'd have the additional range. But that would be the way that she would get an extra kill. But then also she's completely exposed because she didn't attack anything. If she did, should have gotten the Canto, which because it was re-enabled because of Plumeria's dance, which is another reason she will age really great, because her dance reactivates Canto, and also gives out Canto 1, which is just really clutch. It all synergizes so well. Very well built kit for this Plumeria, Spring Plumeria here. But yeah, I don't particularly like this because I guess, yes, it's highlighting Erica and forcing her to be the main combat unit, but then also, depending on how far that additional unit is, she might not be able to cancel all the way back, and essentially it would leave her exposed, and I would have no more melee nukes because she'd be dead. So there wouldn't be any follow-up if someone wanted to just snipe her and continue playing at that point, and I need to, as I said, get at least 3 KOs, so 2 is not enough. Edelgard pretty much guarantees that I would get 3 because she has 3 actions, but also there's Sigurd that I could just include. Yeah, I just don't know. Yeah, so there's Sigurd that I could just include because if Erica is taking out the most problematic unit, then Sigurd could follow up and get the additional 2 kills, which would be enough to win me the match. So that is also an option. I might do that actually. I'm actually thinking about that idea right now, and I am liking it quite a bit as a fourth option. And also would mean that I wouldn't have to waste any blessings because he's already blessed for Dark Season. But yeah, those are the choices. I feel like Camilla, if I could guarantee her getting the Gale Force on the first hit, then I'd probably use that option because she would definitely get a second kill, and also she doesn't really need you know, a lot of help when it comes to damage output. She does so much damage on her own. I wouldn't really need to run the special on her, but then also I kind of would want to have the special quotes if I were to use her, because I'd obviously make a video about it, and not having her special quotes in would be a big drawback. But then also Sigurd wouldn't have his special quotes either since it's an AoE, so I don't know. And then the original idea when I first started building this was to have Gris included, but Gris is just not attacking, which is really annoying. Yeah, Gris isn't attacking. And those other strategies, the strategy with Edelgard would fall to ward blocking, and also the same can be said with the strategy with Gris. So there's a drawback there that I'm aware of, and it's also one of the reasons that I might not want to use that strategy as well.
I go.
We'll see it through.
Let's put you over here. There's actually more space there.
Right. I will be cautious.
Why am I moving you? Gris is the range. Gris, his range just isn't far enough. It's really easy to avoid him, unfortunately. And I guess the same could be said about Edelgard. So essentially what would happen is that they would only be baiting Erica here, which I don't like, because if you have the ability to take her out, then yeah, you can KO her. So I don't know. It was really difficult trying to pair her up with Gris. But yeah, if I step up like this, yeah, same thing happens. And now Gris can't do anything because he can't reach anyone. Granted, Gris is inflicting quite a few debuffs, and he has the Lin Ring, so you know that's great for turn 2, but for turn 1, he doesn't really do all that much. And if, you know, they step back, they could just bait Gris on his own, and that wouldn't be ideal. But I actually originally wanted Gris on the team. I just couldn't figure out how to include him while getting the amount of kills that I really wanted to have. So yeah. Once everything shuffles down, he does have a threat range advantage because he is so mobile, and then he's just going to go back to safety. So there is a big advantage to running him here on defense, but the initial coverage just isn't that great. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm leaning towards Sigurd at the moment. And also, going back to the low-key positioning thing, you can, as you've seen from all the other defense replays that I've used this team, Loki has been here because it's just the optimal position for her, because she covers these three lanes, and it makes it very difficult for the enemy to initiate at all with triangle attack, with anything really, dual strike, or at least to get their status effects. It makes it very difficult for them to, you know, get that stuff up, unless they don't have any, of course. So I don't know. So I'd be losing out on a lot of stuff to move her into the back. So yeah, I don't know. Those are the 3 or 4 options, because I did mention that Sigurd could be considered as well. I guess I could put Sigurd somewhere around. Let's see. I don't like that I'm moving Loki to the back, but I feel like I'm leaning more towards that currently. Also, I can't have Sigurd in the front. That's just too much range. So he could be in the back like this, I guess. Where did we end up? It's not looking like he'll share range with Lyn. Oh. It just showed you the max. Okay. Yeah. He's too far away. I'd have to put him where Goldmary is, and Goldmary needs to be in that spot because that spot is not covered by near save. I mean, I could put Sigurd there, but I'm pretty sure he would die to Lyn, so that's not the smartest idea. 1, 2... Sigurd would basically be covering Loki's range, which isn't... He would need to cover Lyn's range, Erika's range. So I guess Sigurd is out, or at least putting a unit back here is out, unless that unit had some way to get an additional action. Yeah, it's not looking like it works. The other choice, if I were to do this particular layout, I could potentially put oh, where are you? I just saw you. Camilla here, because that spot is good for Camilla. Like, her range is so massive, man. It's yeah, her range. I could also put Yunaka here, but I don't want to re-bless her. I want to keep her on offense for now. But I could put Camilla here.
Let us begin.
Understood. I will try.
43.
Where shall I go?
Guess it's just the amount of debuffs.
I will be cautious.
Let's leave it like this. So yeah, I could put Camilla here, and Camilla will snipe the unit plus here.
Nerve-wracking.
But then, if I put Camilla here, then you can essentially bait Camilla. Well, no, I guess Lyn can reach there as well. Not bad, not bad. But then also there's a spot right here in this corner where Camilla can't reach. So essentially I'd be banking on Lyn to kill everything. Jeez. So this is what it would look like if I use this Camilla setup. God damn. Okay, no Vantage this time. Again, no Gale Force. I mean, what I could do is drop the Clash and give her Quick Impulse Seal. Because then I'm pretty sure we could get the Gale Force on the first hit. But why? Because it's currently 4. Quick Impulse, that's bringing down to 3. And then Marthring brings it down to 2. So 1 hit and she'd get the Gale Force. But then this is a lot of speed to be without. It's a lot of speed and damage to be without, so there's a potential for her to get outsped, which is concerning. But she would get the Gale Force. I don't know, man. But yeah, those are the options. Not quite sure what to do. Not quite sure which one to pick. And I think I'll just leave it off there. And try to figure out what else, if there's anything else I could do, or, you know. Also, I think I would have to give Camilla Breath of Life as well. Because there's no healing on the team aside from that, So I think I would have to give her Breath of Life. I can get Breath of Life out of Goldberry, but there'd be a gap here where Camilla is that needed to be covered by it. And I don't necessarily have any Breath of Life fodder. Or I do, but it's infantry, and then doing that just to give it to a flyer feels kind of wasted. But then also the Breath of Life would benefit her if she takes damage, but then if she's taking damage, she's probably dead. So, because she has no bulk. Can I give Breath of Life to anyone else? No. I wish it was in 3 spaces and not 2, but it is indeed 3 spaces. Yeah, those are the options. I don't know which one to pick, and we're just gonna wrap it there. Let me know what you think. GG's.